This is Finlay Sturges, 4 seconds out with Izzy Asif, a man I know very well. Back tonight for a boxer fight night. How did you find it, sir?
Yeah, great fight. Obviously, a little bit disappointing. Callum's a good friend, but happy for Troy. He's another good chap, and yeah, he got the win. The British and European. What else were they? Commonwealth champion, was it?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Commonwealth, well done. Fair play to him.
How do you assess the performance? You mentioned that you could see the right hand landing very early, and that ultimately ended the fight.
I just felt like he was taking the right hand too early and sometimes got emotionally involved in this fight when he didn't know. I felt like if he boxed on distance on that jab, he could have picked him off a little bit, but he got involved too much. And that right hand, he kept picking him up with that right hand constantly, and eventually that's the kind of shot that caused trouble. And he should have been stopped. You know, I don't like seeing fighters being put down so many times, and the referee or the corner should have, I believe, intervened earlier. But look, Troy's come here as the underdog, coming to Lions Den, and he's got the win. Fair play to him. And disappointed for Callum. I like Callum, but his boxing will come again. You know, there weren't too much in the fight until that, but yeah, for me, Callum just kept getting caught with that right hand too early, too many times, and it's never a good sign, that.
Well, it certainly sets up the rematch pretty well. I heard that rumours of a rematch clause. Troy Williamson, with Matchroom, still boxer with Callum Simpson, sets up a nice rematch.
Yeah, of course, why not? Yeah, look, the rematch makes sense, and I think it was close. There weren't much in it at one stage. You know, I don't know how they had it at home, but I didn't have it too many rounds, 3 rounds either. Like, could have gone Troy probably nicking it, but there weren't much in it. But look, he'll make a good fight. Callum sells well. Troy will come, you know, he's a champion now, so he'll be able to dictate terms a little bit. And yeah, it makes sense. I think the rematch all makes sense, but look, tonight's about Troy Williamson. He's a Cinderella man who keeps coming. See you later, Josh. Take care. And yeah, he just, you know, you thought his career were over a bit ago, Troy. But
Resurgence.
I always knew he'd be dangerous. Troy, look, he's an experienced fighter. He's been around a long time, and he's got that dog in him. He's got that dig in him, and he's been around. And I always knew this is not an easy encounter for Callum. But look, Callum will come again, and the rematch completely makes sense.
Well, it's a pretty big night for yourself as well. You've got your prospect with you, Gradus Kraus, who is now signed with Boxer. What's the dynamic? I know he's your star boy. You're really pushing him, but if he's now working with Boxer, there must be an agreement that you're still with Gradus.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't be sat here taking pictures, sat with him at ringside. Of course, we're with him. We're working alongside him closely with Boxer. You could possibly see him on a GBM card this year as well. Look, I always say it's all about the opportunities for a fighter. It's not about myself or my ego, our platform. Yeah, of course I want him on every one of the shows, but if I'm getting an offer that's substantially more than what I can offer him, I've got to go where the money is for the fighters. I've got to go for the fighters' opportunities. You know, as a promoter, you have many chances. Well, Callum, keep your chin up, mate. Well done. And you've got to go where what's right for the fighters, and this opportunity come for the fighter, and we've taken it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Gradus. He's a very active fighter under yourself, and you still want to keep progressing because it's a stacked division. It's a dangerous division, but you believe Gradus Kraus can go all the way.
Look, I genuinely believe that, and it's not the sales pitch. If you ask me off camera, I'll tell you the same. I believe he's one of the best prospects in world boxing. I really do. I think he's got devastating power. I think he can take the shot, and he can box and all. He's got that skill set to box. But look, once we up the levels, you do learn about fighters. But I see what I've seen so far, what I know about boxing and the game and his whole psyche. I believe he's a real deal. But look, boxing's a strange old sport, and let's see what 2026 brings.
It's nice to know that you can be the linchpin once again for the Boxer Matchroom kind of fight night. Because if we've got Whittaker and we've got now Gradus Kraus, you definitely want to see that fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think it's a great fight, but Gradus Kraus, he's a star, man. He's got the golden pot as well, so we don't need to go searching for Ben as much as some of the other light heavyweights. He's going to be a star. I reckon he'll sell stadiums out in Holland. He's going to be a real star, national star. He'll start becoming a name here now, so we don't need to go searching for Ben. I think that fight makes sense down the line, and let them both get paid well, because that's what it's about. The fighters getting paid the most. And I keep saying this because as a promoter, you get chances. You get chances to work with one fighter, maybe another fighter, opportunities, but fighters have one career. It's a short career, and it can end just like that as well. So when they get our financial opportunities, they deserve it, and I think them two will happen. I reckon Ben Whittaker, Gradus Kraus will be a huge fight one day. Maybe the Saudis will invest in it, and that's what they deserve. But let's keep building him. We'll keep building Gradus. I'm sure Ben will, Matchroom will do a great job like they do with most of their fighters. They build him to be a superstar, and then two superstars together means a massive payday for both of them and a superstar fight that everybody enjoys.
Well, under the tutelage of Peter Wright as well, he can certainly go anywhere in the sport. Have you got any news on Hughie Fury?
We want a big fight for him. I've been saying, I'm sick of saying we just want a two. We want a big fight for him. Seen Jamie TKV, a good friend of mine. Listen, them kind of level. Let's see Hughie mixing them level. Let's see. Look, I want to see if he's still got it. I believe he has. I believe he's a level above these. I genuinely believe that. But let's see it. Let's show the fans. Let's show me that Hughie Fury's still got it. Yeah, I know he's fought at the top level. He's, you know, only lost to the best in the game. You know, never been put down or lost by a KO or anything like that. So let's see if he's still at that level. I think he is. But these fights are only going to show us, because I can talk as much as I want about him. I can big him up saying he's a real deal. It's all proofs in the pudding. And when you're in that ring, you've got to show your levels, and I think he will. I like a fight. Maybe Martin Bacoli, you know, that kind of thing. Jamie TKV. I don't know, the Dave Allen makes sense. Somewhere around that kind of level, I think.
Definitely going across the British and then fringe world level for Hughie Fury.
Yeah, look, there's loads of British heavyweights, and I always say nothing beats a good old British dust-up. Nothing beats it. The rivalry, the tension, you're familiar with the fighters and all. It makes it more interesting, intriguing for the fans. So let's see that first. Let's see Hughie at this level. But we are working on a fight. There's potential talks about Hughie in a decent fight, but let's get one of them. Let's show that he's past that level, and then go for the big boys.
Another British heavyweight that featured last night, obviously Anthony Joshua over in Miami. Did you catch any of that?
Listen, I've had a lot of travelling to do recently, so I got up in the morning and watched it and did what he did. I didn't watch it all. I watched little clips of highlights. Obviously, I had to get to Leeds this afternoon for the interviews and the release of Gradus Kraus signing. I watched it, good knockout. But look, next year I think we'll see the big one. 2026 is going to be the year where we see the Fury-Joshua fight.
Have you got any intel? I know you're very close with the Furies. Is there anything that Tyson's maybe said?
I've heard there's a very strong rumour that it could happen next year, but look, we've heard it all before, and I think the fans want it, and I think it's still a big blockbuster fight no matter when it happens. But I think next year's got to be the year. Can't make the fans wait any longer. It's a huge fight, and look, people criticise Joshua for taking that fight. I think it's pathetic criticising him. AJ, listen, I'm a promoter. If somebody offered me half that money, quarter that money, my fighters are going. It's as simple as that. We're in the prize. Don't kid it. We're not. Yeah, you want legacy and you want the belts, but ultimately the fighters are there to earn as much money as possible. And the promoters want to make sure the fighters earn the money, and then they earn as well. So Eddie Hearn, of course, he's going to take that fight. How could you criticise him for not taking an easy fight for whatever money? Is it $50 million or something?
Yeah, 50 or 70.
50 or 70. God, that's insane money. So how can you criticise a man like that? You know, yeah, the boxing pure. I'm a boxing purist, but you've got to understand, once you get into the prize fight, it's all about money. It's about the purses. Yeah, you want to obtain your legacy, and I think, look, he did a right job on him, did a good number on him, and it'll be. We want the big fight next year. None of these chewing ups, none of these tick-alongs. We want the big AJ Fury fight next year.
Do you believe certain fights like that have a sell-by date? You know, you look at Kell Brook, Amir Khan, potential of that. Do you think the heavyweights will always have that reputation?
You're saying that because the people buy into rivalries. Like Amir Khan, Kell Brook, still sold. Even though I believe it was 3 years too late, but it's still sold. AJ Fury, if it happened in 3 years' time, that would still sell. But me as a fan, I want to see it next year when it's at the kind of peak of their careers, almost, you know, I won't say they're going down or anything. They're at the levels where they're both competing pretty regular, and they're on it, even though Tyson said he's retired for about 150 times. But he's what he does, he plays the game quite well. He's quite smart with it, to be honest. But there's a sell-by date, there is, but people just forget about the sell-by date. If that fight happened in 3 years' time, we'll all still tune up to watch it.
We're all still going to Wembley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's only fair you give a right kind of reflection and get to find a right opportunity when you're at your kind of pinnacle of your career and you're in form and you're fighting regular and you still got that hunger in you. Show them. So I think the fans deserve it next year, and I think with his excellency involved, these fights will happen.
As you say, you're a boxing purist. How do you see that fight going?
So, you know, if you asked me a couple of years ago, I would have said Tyson's, boxing IQ is too much. I just don't know. I don't know if the punch resistance gone as much of Tyson Fury as he's had a few hard fights with Wilder.
Them 3 Wilder fights.
They were hard fights, but then Joshua's had a few big knockdowns. It's a close one to call. I would sit on the fence right now. Before I was thinking strongly, kind of picking Tyson, but now I don't know. Listen, it's a kind of almost 50-50 now, because they both had a couple of average performances. You know, he's had a few knockouts. He had a tough fight against Usyk. He's had a few tough Usyk fights. They both lost to Usyk, so I think it was quite equally poised. You know, so yeah, I think next year's a year for it to happen.
Well, I'd be wrong to end this interview without congratulating you on your coming second in the Promoters of the Year of 2025. So congratulations.
Thank you.
What is next for you in 2026?
Listen, we've got a few important meetings and things happening in the next few days, 4 or 5 days, and then we're going to have a real big plan for 2026. There's a good chance we could go global. There's a good chance we can go over the pond in the US. There's all sorts of talks, but look, nothing's materialised yet. There's a lot of moving parts in our business, and we're hoping to have some big news and really launch a massive, massive campaign 2026.
Izzy, always a pleasure, mate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Tom.